In the ancient text of Enoch, hidden within the labyrinthine corridors of forgotten libraries and whispered among the fervent faithful, lies the tale of the Watchers, angelic beings who descended from the heavens to dwell among mortals. Their story unfolds like a tapestry woven with threads of rebellion, forbidden knowledge, and divine judgment. Once, in the celestial realm where light danced upon the golden gates of paradise, there existed a cohort of angels entrusted with the sacred duty of watching over humanity. These were the Watchers, luminous beings adorned with wings of iridescent feathers and eyes that reflected the wisdom of ages past. Their leader was none other than Semjaza, a towering figure whose presence commanded both reverence and fear. Yet, within the hearts of some Watchers, a seed of curiosity and desire took root, a longing to experience the pleasures and pains of mortal existence, to tread the fertile earth and taste the forbidden fruit of knowledge. This desire festered like a storm gathering strength, until finally, a group led by Semjaza dared to defy divine decree. Descending from their celestial abode, the Watchers alighted upon the rugged peaks of Mount Hermon, where the boundary between heaven and earth blurred into a haze of swirling mist. Then their leader Semjaza asked them to take an oath. There, amidst the towering cliffs and whispering winds, they swore a solemn oath, an oath to descend further still, to intermingle with mortals, and to share with them the secrets of heaven. Upon arriving on earth, the Watchers took on physical form and interacted with human beings. When the angels beheld the women, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, "Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children." Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach and with whom they cohabited. As a result of their union with human women, the Watchers fathered offspring who became known as the Nephilim. These were giants, renowned for their great size and strength. The Nephilim were considered unnatural beings, causing havoc and violence on the earth. They taught humans various forms of forbidden knowledge and arts. These are the forbidden knowledge they taught. Sorcery. The term sorcery implies that it is magic performed with a specific intention of causing harm to others. Historically, a sorcerer was someone who not only knew magic but was something of an apothecary and equally feared for their knowledge of harmful and deadly poisons. Witchcraft can be traced back to ancient times, with depictions of witches found in various mythologies and folklore, from Roman gods to Celtic deities. In Europe, witchcraft became associated with the devil during the Middle Ages, particularly influenced by the spread of Christianity. 1. As Christianity gained prominence, pagan practices were condemned, and individuals accused of practicing witchcraft were seen as aligning themselves with evil forces. However, the belief in witchcraft predates Christianity. In ancient civilizations such as China, Mesopotamia, Rome, Egypt, and Greece, there were references to individuals who possessed magical powers and could communicate with spirits or deities. 2. These individuals were often revered as wise or feared as dangerous. The concept of witchcraft was also deeply connected to nature and the spiritual world. Witches were believed to have the ability to harness natural forces and manipulate them for their own purposes. In many cultures, witches were associated with healing, divination, or protective magic. They were seen as intermediaries between humans and the spiritual realm. Amazarek, who, according to myth, is a fallen angel and one of the chiefs, is the one who taught the first sorcerers magic. It is this demon that gives the cult their powers and their orders. Amazarek's goal is to set up a stronghold on this plane for itself in preparation of the upcoming war. It knows of the yellow-eyed demon Azazel's plans to open the gate to hell and release an army of demons. Amazarek wants to make sure when that happens it and its demon allies in hell will have a place in the world to come. The knowledge of weaponry and cosmetic was taught by a chief called Azazel, thus causing violence and war among humans. He whispered knowledge and taught arts never to be seen before. Azazel found his purpose reshaped. He became the harbinger of strife and discord, whispering secrets of battle strategy and martial prowess into the ears of kings and generals. The spread of knowledge related to weaponry has historically fueled territorial expansion, conquests, and empires. It has facilitated the subjugation of peoples, colonization efforts, and the establishment of dominance over regions. This knowledge, taught according to various mythologies, accelerated the development of military technology. From ancient times to the modern era, advancements in weaponry have continually reshaped warfare, making conflicts more lethal and widespread. Astrology and astronomy. The chiefs named Barcaol, Achibiel, Tamiel, and Asaradel taught about signs, motions, observing sun and moon. This are now known as astrology and astronomy. Astrology is a belief system and a field of study that suggests there is a relationship between the positions and movements of celestial bodies, such as planets and stars, and events on Earth, as well as human affairs and personality traits. Here's a more detailed exploration of what astrology entails: planetary positions, zodiac signs, and astrological houses. Astronomy is the scientific study of celestial objects, phenomena, and the universe as a whole. It encompasses the observation and analysis of stars, planets, moons, comets, galaxies, and other cosmic entities, as well as the physical laws and processes that govern them. This kind of knowledge has been spread through centuries and even adapted by some cultures. Divine punishment. The Watchers' actions led to widespread corruption among humans, who began to misuse the knowledge they were taught for harmful purposes. This corruption extended to moral and spiritual degradation, leading to violence and injustice. The punishments the Watchers received were: they would see their offspring, the giants, murdered and destroyed. The destruction of the giants happened in two ways. First, many giants turned on one another, devouring each other's flesh, and drank each other's blood. Secondly, those that remained were destroyed in the great flood. Divine wrath soon followed, as the heavens recoiled at the audacity of the Watchers' transgressions. In Enoch's telling, the archangel Michael descended with a host of heavenly warriors, casting the Watchers into chains of darkness and consigning them to the depths of Tartarus, a place of eternal exile beyond the reach of mortal eyes. Thus, the tale of the Watchers in Enoch's book serves as a cautionary saga of hubris and redemption, of beings who straddled the celestial and terrestrial realms only to fall from grace. Their legacy echoes through the corridors of myth and legend, a reminder of the perilous dance between divine wisdom and mortal folly in the tapestry of existence. Here is a reference text from the Book of Enoch. Chapter 7. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful, and when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, "Come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children." Then their leader Samiaza said to them, "I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered him and said, "We all swear, 6, and bind ourselves by mutual execrations, that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking." Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Armon. That mountain therefore was called Armon, because they had sworn upon it, and bound themselves by mutual execrations. These are the names of their chiefs: Samiaza, who was their leader, Eurykabarameel, Achibiel, Tamiel, Ramuel, Danel, Azkiel, Sarachniel, Asarel, Armas, Batril, Anain, Zavib, Samsaviel, Ertel, Turel, Yomiel, Araziel. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants, whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all which the labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them, when they turned themselves against men, in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fishes, to eat their flesh one after another, and to drink their blood. Then the earth reproved the unrighteous. Chapter 8. Moreover Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint, the beautifying of the eyebrows, the use of stones of every valuable and select kind, and of all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered, impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Amazarach taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. Armas taught the solution of sorcery. Barcaol taught the observers of the stars. Achibeel taught signs. Tamiel taught astronomy. And Asaradel taught the motion of the moon. And men, being destroyed, cried out, and their voice reached to heaven. Chapter 9. Then Michael and Gabriel, Raphael, Suriel, and Uriel, looked down from heaven, and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, and said one to another, It is the voice of their cries. The earth deprived of her children has cried even to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O ye holy ones of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, Obtain justice for us with one the Most High. Then they said to their Lord, the King, Thou art Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings. The throne of thy glory is for ever and ever is thy name sanctified and glorified. Thou art blessed and glorified, thou hast made all things. Thou possessest power over all things, and all things are open and manifest before thee. Thou beholdest all things, and nothing can be concealed from thee. Thou hast seen what Azazel has done, how he has taught every species of iniquity upon earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heaven. Semiaza also has taught sorcery, to whom thou hast given authority over those who are associated with him. They have gone together to the daughters of men, have lain with them, have become polluted, and have discovered crimes to them. 8. The women likewise have brought forth giants. 9. Thus has the whole earth been filled with blood and with iniquity, and now behold the souls of those who are dead cry out and complain even to the gate of heaven. Their groaning ascends, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. Thou knowest all things before they exist. Thou knowest these things, and what has been done by them. Yet thou dost not speak to us what on account of these things ought we to do to them. Chapter 10. Then the Most High, the great and holy one, spoke, and sent Asielaliah to the son of Lamech, saying, Say to him in my name, Conceal thyself. Then explain to him the consummation which is about to take place. For all the earth shall perish, the waters of a deluge shall come over the whole earth, and all things which are in it shall be destroyed. And now teach him how he may escape, and how his seed may remain in all the earth. Again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, cast him into darkness, and opening the desert which is in Dudiel, cast him in there, throw upon him hurled and pointed stones, covering him with darkness. There shall he remain for ever. Cover his face, that he may not see the light. And in the great day of judgment let him be cast into the fire. Restore the earth, which the angels have corrupted, and announce life to it, that I may revive it. All the sons of men shall not perish in consequence of every secret, by which the watchers have destroyed, and which they have taught, their offspring. All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teaching of Azazel. To him therefore ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also the Lord said, Go to the biters, to the reprobates, to the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offspring of the watchers, from among men. Bring them forth, and excite them one against another. Let them perish by mutual slaughter. For length of days shall not be theirs, they shall all entreat thee, but their fathers shall not obtain their wishes respecting them. For they shall hope for eternal life, and that they may live, each of them, 500 years. To Michael likewise the Lord said, Go and announce his crime to Semiaza, and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, that they might be polluted with all their impurity. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, bind them for 70 generations underneath the earth, even to the day of judgment and of consummation, until the judgment, the effect of which will last for ever, be completed. Then shall they be taken away into the lowest depths of the fire in torments, and in confinement shall they be shut up for ever. Immediately after this shall he, together with them, burn and perish. They shall be bound until the consummation of many generations. Destroy all the souls addicted to dalliance, and the offspring of the watchers, for they have tyrannized over mankind. Let every oppressor perish from the face of the earth. Let every evil work be destroyed. The plant of righteousness and of rectitude appear, and its produce too become a blessing. Righteousness and rectitude shall be for ever planted with delight. And then shall all the saints give thanks, and live until they have begotten 1,000 children, while the whole period of their youth, and their Sabbaths shall be completed in peace. In those days all the earth shall be cultivated in righteousness. It shall be wholly planted with trees, and filled with benediction. Every tree of delight shall be planted in it. In it shall vines be planted, and the vine which shall be planted in it shall yield fruit to satiety. Every seed which shall be sown in it shall produce for 1 measure 1,000, and 1 measure of olives shall produce 10 presses of oil. Purify the earth from all oppression, from all injustice, from all crime, from all impiety, and from all the pollution which is committed upon it. Exterminate them from the earth. Then shall all the children of men be righteous, and all nations shall pay me divine honors, and bless me, and all shall adore me. The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, and from all suffering. Neither will I again send a deluge upon it from generation to generation forever. In those days I will open the treasures of blessing which are in heaven, that I may cause them to descend upon earth, and upon all the works and labor of man. Peace and equity shall associate with the sons of men all the days of the world, in every generation of it. Chapter 12. 1. Before all these things Enoch was concealed, nor did any one of the sons of men know where he was concealed, where he had been, and what had happened too. He was wholly engaged with the holy ones, and with the watchers in his days 3. I, Enoch, was blessing the great Lord and King of peace 4. And behold, the watchers called me Enoch the scribe 5. Then the Lord said to me, Enoch, scribe of righteousness, go tell the watchers of heaven, who have deserted the lofty sky, and their holy everlasting station, who have been polluted with women 6, and have done as the sons of men do, by taking to themselves wives, and who have been greatly corrupted on the earth. 7. That on the earth they shall never obtain peace and remission of sin. For they shall not rejoice in their offspring, they shall behold the slaughter of their beloved, shall lament for the destruction of their sons, and shall petition for ever, but shall not obtain mercy and peace. Chapter 13. 1. Then Enoch, passing on, said to Azazel, Thou shalt not obtain peace. A great sentence is gone forth against thee. He shall bind thee too. Neither shall relief, mercy, and supplication be thine, on account of the oppression which thou hast taught. 3. And on account of every act of blasphemy, tyranny, and sin, which thou hast discovered to the children of men 4. Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together. 5. And they all became terrified, and trembled. 6. Beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplication, that they might obtain forgiveness, and that I might make the memorial of their prayer ascend up before the God of heaven, because they could not themselves thenceforwards address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged. 7. Then I wrote a memorial of their prayer and supplication, for their spirits, for everything which they had done, and for the subject of their entreaty, that they might obtain remission and rest. 8. Proceeding on, I continued over the waters of Dambadan, which is on the right to the west of Armon, reading the memorial of their prayer, until I fell asleep. 9. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions appeared above me. I fell down and saw a vision of punishment, that I might relate it to the sons of heaven, and reprove them. When I awoke, I went to them. All being collected together stood weeping in Albalsile, which is situated between Libanos and Senizer, with their faces veiled. 10. I related in their presence all the visions which I had seen, and my dream. 11. And began to utter these words of righteousness, reproving the watchers of heaven. Chapter 14. 1. This is the book of the words of righteousness, and of the reproof of the watchers, who belong to the world, according to that which he, who is holy and great, commanded in the vision. I perceived in my dream that I was now speaking with a tongue of flesh, and with my breath, which the Mighty One has put into the mouth of men, that they might converse with it too, and understand with the heart. As he has created and given to men the power of comprehending the word of understanding, so has he created and given to me the power of reproving the watchers, the offspring of heaven. I have written your petition, and in my vision it has been shown me that what you request will not be granted you as long as the world endures. 3. Judgment has been passed upon you. Your request will not be granted you. 4. From this time forward never shall you ascend into heaven. He has said that on the earth he will bind you, as long as the world endures. 5. But before these things you shall behold the destruction of your beloved sons. You shall not possess them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. 6. Neither shall you entreat for them, nor for yourselves. 7. But you shall weep and supplicate in silence. The words of the book which I wrote. 8. A vision thus appeared to me. 9. Behold, in that vision clouds and a mist invited me. Agitated stars and flashes of lightning impelled and pressed me forwards, while winds in the vision assisted my flight, accelerating my progress. 10. They elevated me aloft to heaven. I proceeded, until I arrived at a wall built with stones of crystal. A vibrating flame surrounded it, which began to strike me with terror. 11. Into this vibrating flame I entered. 12. And drew nigh to a spacious habitation built also with stones of crystal. Its walls too, as well as pavement, were formed with stones of crystal, and crystal likewise was the ground. Its roof had the appearance of agitated stars and flashes of lightning, and among them were cherubim of fire in a stormy sky. A flame burned around its walls, and its portal blazed with fire. When I entered into this dwelling, it was hot as fire and cold as ice. No trace of delight or of life was there. Terror overwhelmed me, and a fearful shaking seized me. 13. Violently agitated and trembling, I fell upon my face. In the vision I looked. 14. And behold, there was another habitation more spacious than the former, every entrance to which was open before me, erected in the midst of a vibrating flame. 15. So greatly did it excel in all points, in glory, in magnificence, and in magnitude, that it is impossible to describe to you either the splendor or the extent of it. 16. Its floor was on fire. Above were lightnings and agitated stars, while its roof exhibited a blazing fire. 17. Attentively I surveyed it, and saw that it contained an exalted throne. 18. The appearance of which was like that of frost, while its circumference resembled the orb of the brilliant sun, and there was the voice of the cherubim. 19. From underneath this mighty throne rivers of flaming fire issued. 20. To look upon it was impossible. 21. One great in glory sat upon it. 22. Whose robe was brighter than the sun, and whiter than snow. 23. No angel was capable of penetrating to view the face of him, the glorious and the effulgent, nor could any mortal behold him. A fire was flaming around him. 24. A fire also of great extent continued to rise up before him, so that not one of those who surrounded him was capable of approaching him, among the myriads of myriads who were before him. To him holy consultation was needless. Yet did not the sanctified, who were near him, depart far from him either by night or by day, nor were they removed from him. I also was so far advanced, with a veil on my face, and trembling. Then the Lord with his own mouth called me, saying, Approach hither, Enoch, at my holy word. 25. And he raised me up, making me draw near even to the entrance. My eye was directed to the ground. Chapter 15. 1. Then addressing me, he spoke and said, Hear, neither be afraid, O righteous Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness. Approach hither, and hear my voice. Go, say to the watchers of heaven, who have sent thee to pray for them, you ought to pray for men, and not men for you too. Wherefore have you forsaken the lofty and holy heaven, which endures for ever, and have lain with women, have defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, have taken to yourselves wives, have acted like the sons of the earth, and have begotten an impious offspring. 3. You being spiritual, holy, and possessing a life which is eternal, have polluted yourselves with women, have begotten in carnal blood, have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do for. These, however, die and perish. 5. Therefore have I given to them wives, that they might cohabit with them, that sons might be born of them, and that this might be transacted upon earth. 6. But you from the beginning were made spiritual, possessing a life which is eternal, and not subject to death for ever. 7. Therefore I made not wives for you, because, being spiritual, your dwelling is in heaven. 8. Now the giants, who lave been born of spirit and of flesh, shall be called upon earth evil spirits, and on earth shall be their habitation. Evil spirits shall proceed from their flesh, because they were created from above. From the holy watchers was their beginning and primary foundation. Evil spirits shall they be upon earth, and the spirits of the wicked shall they be called. The habitation of the spirits of heaven shall be in heaven, but upon earth shall be the habitation of terrestrial spirits, who are born on earth. 9. The spirits of the giants shall be like clouds, which shall oppress, corrupt, fall, contend, and bruise upon earth. 10. They shall cause lamentation. No food shall they eat, and they shall be thirsty. They shall be concealed, and shall not one rise up against the sons of men, and against women, for they come forth during the days of slaughter and destruction. Chapter 16. And as to the death of the giants, wheresoever their spirits depart from their bodies, let their flesh, that which is perishable, be without judgment. Thus shall they perish, until the day of the great consummation of the great world. A destruction shall take place of the watchers and the impious, and now to the watchers, who have sent thee to pray for them, who in the beginning were in heaven. Say, in heaven have you been. Secret things, however, have not been manifested to you. Yet have you known a reprobated mystery, and this you have related to women in the hardness of your heart, and by that mystery have women and mankind multiplied evils upon the earth. Say to them, Never therefore shall you obtain peace.